All right, so end of day one. Started in Boise, even from my house. First stop went down to Jarbidge, Nevada, which is the start of the BDR if you're going south to north. I took the BDR tracks that they have on their website to go from Boise to Jarbidge. Not too bad, kind of a lot of flat, straight gravel roads, but there were a few sections that were pretty fun. One nice little canyon to ride through that I really enjoyed, was really scenic. Pretty smoky though. I hope now that we're up a little further north, there's not quite as much smoke. I hope that that's gonna stick around. Well, the smoke will stay away for the rest of the ride. So stopped for lunch, got some fuel in Jarbidge, headed north from there. Was gonna camp just north of Jarbidge. Couple pretty cool little spots, kind of right on the river there in a canyon, but it was only 2 o'clock and I hadn't covered as much mileage as I wanted to, or as I could have in a day. And I'm hoping tomorrow to get a better campsite than I have reserved. I'm hoping to get a campsite up at Trinity Lakes. So thought I'd push on, get some more mileage in. Ended up here at Anderson Ranch Reservoir, which is not too bad. A couple little dispersed campsites, so I was able to snag one of those. Section 1 of the BDR I'm pretty much done with. I'm just south of Pine, so I'm more or less there. Wasn't too bad. I feel like you never hear people talk about Section 1, and I can see why. There were a couple cool spots, but there was just a lot of straight gravel roads. So it was mostly dirt, but it wasn't the most exciting dirt. But looks like we're a bit of a higher elevation now. We're more into what I was hoping for, a little less desert, a little less cheap grass, and more trees and rivers and streams and all that stuff. So overall, pretty fun day. I think I did 250, 300 miles altogether. So not too bad considering I think it was like 150 miles of dirt. But yeah, ready to get some sleep and head out tomorrow. So day 2, got up early-ish, got moving. My goal was to get to Trinity Lakes pretty early, which I did. It's pretty fantastic. The ride from the reservoir up here was great. A lot of really fun roads, a little more difficult than Section 1, which was welcome. Not that it was too hard, but there were some spots that were a little more difficult. Made it up here. I was thinking about camping here tonight, but I'm pretty early, so I'm going to keep going and make some more distance today. Thought about the Trinity lookout, got to the gate, and it's pretty steep, pretty gnarly. Something I would do pretty readily with other people or non-loaded bike. But with a loaded bike solo, it's just not worth the risk. So maybe another time. Thankfully, I don't live too far. Might be able to make a day trip out of it. So yeah, we'll keep pushing on. I think Loman's the next city. Just enjoying the ride. It's beautiful.
All right, so after Trinity Lakes, road's pretty nice, pretty scenic. So just followed the route for a while. At one point, right before Loman, there were some road closed signs, but that was a different road than we were going on. And I think 5 or 6 miles from Loman, the road that follows the BDR route was closed. So we had to find a workaround. Those are the two main roads that were closed. The road closure signs that we were seeing for a while, and then the road closure we came upon. So found another way out. Got to Loman. Had to ride a little bit more of Highway 21, which is never something to complain about. Out of Loman, the next section is pretty tight, pretty narrow. I'd say it's more of a Jeep track than a road. But kind of a fun, slower, tight ride for a little bit. And then you come up on the creek crossing, which is cool. It's the first real creek crossing I've ever done. Didn't go as well as I would have liked, but I didn't drop the bike, so that's nice. It was a little later than I thought it was going to be at that point, so I just was ready to kind of look for a campground. So kept going, had a nice little crash in some sand. Bike was fine, I was fine. Hard to pick up though, man. Those things are heavy. Ended up at Deadwood Reservoir. And it was interesting. There was a group that I met at the road closure, and we all kind of rode out together to figure our way out. And there was another solo rider, and he's camping at Deadwood. So I ended up sharing a campground with him, which is cool. Yeah, not a bad day. Hoping to make it to Yellow Pine tomorrow. I have a cabin there, so should be good.
midday day 3. We're here at the Icehole Campground, which is probably the highlight of the trip so far for me. If you're going to be in the Yellow Pine area and you're looking for somewhere to camp, I would highly recommend it. Probably put a little video in here of it. It's just fantastic. Took a little swim. It was cold, but totally worth it. So made my way into Yellow Pine. Really cool little town. Make sure if you're here, you stop and get some gas at the general store. Super nice guy. He was really helpful. Gave me a few things to go check out. So I rode up to, he said it was a lake. The sign says a lake. I didn't see a lake. I saw a nice little meadow. Can't remember the name of it. I'll put a picture in with the name of it. A little more of a challenging ride up, more like a Jeep Road 2-track. But it was a pretty cool little meadow, fun little side ride, especially if you're unloaded, which I was able to take my gear off, which is nice. So from there, I went up to, again, I can't remember the name, some old mine site that he recommended to go look at. And then, again, maybe 15, 20 miles, I think, outside of Yellow Pine. Not a lot to look at, but still pretty cool. Again, I'll put a video in here of it. I got here around 11 and I was done for the day. So I had a bunch of time. So if you've got some time, a few cool things to check out. So yeah, Yellow Pine's a cool little town. I'd recommend staying here if you can. So sadly the smoke is rolling in. I hope this doesn't stick around. Gonna stay here tonight. I got a pretty cool site. I got the ranger station that's local here to Yellow Pine. So actually sleeping in a bed tonight, which is exciting. It'll be a cool night. It's a cool little spot to stay. And then probably up early because I got some miles to make tomorrow. So yeah, day 3, good day. All right, so it's day 4. I'm here at the bottom of Burnt Knob. Somewhere you can see the sign. I realized I didn't talk at all about yesterday. So day 4 was a long day. It's like 240 miles and a lot of more rough Jeep road type tracks. So it was fun, but definitely a long, exhausting day. Pretty cool though. Some of the kind of the highlights, more iconic stuff on the trip, like the old school bus. I think it's the Manning Bridge, French Creek Grade. So a lot of cool stuff, but definitely a longer day. Yeah. So anyways, we're on day 5 now. So today we're essentially just doing the Magruder. Starting in Elk City. We're going over to Darby and then up to Lolo, staying at Lochsa Lodge tonight. So should be over 200 miles again, but I think that there's at least 90, if not more, paved miles, which will help it. So shouldn't be too bad of a day. So far, the Magruder's been pretty cool. A little smoky, which it's not closed, so could be thankful for that. But yeah, just these purple flowers everywhere and these burned out trees, which have a kind of a strange beauty just in themselves. So, but yeah, just did Burnt Knob Lookout, dropped the bike twice. I feel pretty exhausted after lifting up this huge thing 2 times in the span of a couple minutes. So yeah, pretty tough road with a fully loaded adventure bike, but totally worth it. It's beautiful up there. It's so cool. And just to say I did it, I'm pretty stoked on. So, yeah, pretty rad. We're going to get going, and try to make it to Lochsa to get some food and get to bed. Alright, so day 5 ended pretty good. The Magruder was pretty cool. Even with all the smoke, it was pretty great. Had a lot of fun there. And then getting out of there was a fair amount of pavement, which was kind of a nice break. Even though some of it was not very fun. Kind of coming up the highway north was just 70 miles per hour, pretty straight. Not the best. But then you get on the Lolo motorway, which is fantastic. So that wasn't too bad. Got here to Lochsa Lodge. Got some great sleep. And so we're ready to start day 6. Tons of fire closures around. Lolo motorway is essentially just closed. And then Granddad Bridge is closed, which kind of throws everything off for section 5 and 6. I think it's section 5 and 6. Anyway, so figured out a workaround, but it's going to be pretty much mostly pavement today, which means I get to ride the Lolo motorway or the Lolo highway again for the 3rd or 4th time, which I'm not really complaining about. It's going to be kind of a nice break. So let's get to it.
right, so here it's the morning on day 6. We're just north of Wallace. Day 5 ended up being quite a grinder. It was over 300 miles, most of it pavement. I skipped essentially all of section 5, just fire closures. There wasn't really, I think there would have been a way through it, but Lolo motorway is fun, so ended up taking the Lolo motorway. Got through on pretty much all pavement up to Avery, and then it looked like there was a closure on the main route from Avery, but the tunnel alternate route was open, which I wanted to take anyway, so took that. That led to some pretty fun 2-track, and then got to my campsite out of Wallace, which is a pretty cool little town. So anyways, I got up this morning. Section 7 has a closure, so I was doing the workaround that BDR had posted on the website. And then Fire Road 424 was closed, which was on the route, so I had to turn around and working my way towards what I think will be open. I talked to one of the firefighters, and he kind of pulled up his most current map, and so I think I should be good to get back onto the route here in a minute, so we can make it all the way to the Canadian border. That's been the goal this whole time, whether it's on dirt or on pavement. I'm going to do it today, so yeah, get riding. Alright, here, the Canadian border. Finally made it. Pretty stoked. It's been a bit of a long week. Didn't go exactly how it was all planned out, all the fire closures and everything, but it is what it is when you're out in the backcountry, so yeah, just stoked to be here. Section 7 was really fun when I got to ride of it. Section 8, I think pretty much all the dirt was closed. There were some gravel roads, but nothing really very fun. But at the end of the day, it was just trying to get out here, and we did it. So got a cabin for tonight, go get some rest, and then riding all the way home to Boise tomorrow. Man, so stoked, so fun.